Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to turn a cheap Dollar Tree frame into this pretty farmhouse style sign. For this project you'll need a frame, and I found mine at Dollar Tree. You'll need some wood slats, and I just used paint sticks. You'll also need some vinyl, transfer tape, paint and a brush, your weeding tool or craft knife, a scraper, some tape and glue, your Cricut, a cutting mat, and the cut file. So grab your supplies and then head over to your computer. The first thing we need to do is grab the SVG file we'll be using for this project. You can get it for free on my blog at burtonavenue.com. I keep all the SVG files for these projects that I make and share in my free SVG library. These files will work with all kinds of cutting machines and they're free to everyone. Once you're on my site, just click on Free SVG Files and then Free SVG Library. You will need a password to get into the library, and there are instructions on the screen if you need to get one. Once you're in the library, you can search for the file Family Wreath. It will either be listed under the most recent projects and cut files or under the Everyday category. You can also use your browser search to find it. I have added the unique code BA1467 after the file name to make finding this design a little bit easier. Once you've found the file, go ahead and click on it, and the file will be downloaded onto your computer. Now when you download these files online, they usually come in a zipped folder, and you'll need to extract or unzip them before you can use them in Cricut Design Space. To do this, you'll need to go to the location where downloaded files are saved onto your computer. Once you're there, look for that zipped folder that we just downloaded and double click on it. A new window should open, and somewhere you should see the option to extract or unzip. Click on that and another window will open up. And this will show you the destination where the unzipped files will be saved onto your computer. And you need to remember this location because you'll have to get back to it once you're in Cricut Design Space. So click on the extract button, and those files will be unzipped and they're now ready to use in Design Space. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Once you're on the Canvas screen, click on the Upload button, and then click Upload Image, and then click on Browse. And now you'll want to go to that location where the unzipped files were saved onto your computer. Click on the unzip folder, and inside of that you'll see several different file types listed. And we want to use the SVG file, but you'll notice that SVG isn't in this list. And it's actually this Microsoft Edge HTML document. So if you don't see SVG file, look for that, or it might actually show up as a Chrome HTML document also. So select the SVG file and then click Open. Make sure it's the file that you want to work with, and then click Upload. Select your design one more time and then click Insert Images. And now your design will appear on your Canvas screen. So the first thing that we're going to do is resize the design so that it will fit inside of the frame. So you'll need to measure your opening to determine how big to make your design. And the opening on my frame is about 7 5/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to change my design to 7 1/4 inches wide. So I can do that up here. I'll just change the width to 7 1/4 inches. And I'll leave this lock closed, and the height will adjust proportionally. And then the next thing that we're going to do is add the family name inside of these lines. To do that, you'll click on the text icon, and then you can just type out the family name. To change the font, you can click on this drop-down arrow under the font box, and then you can browse different fonts on your computer, or if you know the name of the font you want to use, you can type that in the search box up here. And for this project, I'm going to be using the Trajan Pro font. So select that, and the name should change to that font. And so now we just need to resize it so that it will fit in our design. If you want to move the letters closer together or further apart, you can do that up here by clicking on the up and down arrows. So I'm just going to scoot my letters a little bit closer together, and you can see them moving as I click on this arrow. And then I'm just going to resize it just a little bit bigger. And then once you're happy with the size of the name, you can select both the design and the name and click on Align and then choose Center. And that will just perfectly center that last name inside of the design. So the last thing that we need to do is right click and choose Attach. And that will just lock everything together so that our Cricut will cut the design just like we see it here on our Canvas screen. So now we can click on the green Make It button. And this screen will show us what our design looks like on the cutting mat. If everything looks right, you can click on the green Continue button. And once Design Space finds your Cricut, you'll be taken to this screen. Make sure that your dial is set to vinyl, and then you can go load your cutting mat. So place your piece of vinyl on your cutting mat and smooth it down so there aren't any wrinkles or bubbles. Then you can load it into your Cricut by pressing the up and down arrow button. When your Cricut is ready to cut, you'll see the C button light up. Press this and the machine will begin cutting. Once everything is finished, you can press the up and down arrow button again to unload your mat. Remove your vinyl from your cutting mat and weed away the excess vinyl. You can use a weeding tool to help you pull out those tiny pieces inside of your letters. Once you've got it all weeded, it's time to apply the transfer tape. So place your transfer tape sticky side up on your work surface and then place your vinyl on top of that. Rub over the design with your scraper to help it stick to the transfer tape. Then trim off the excess vinyl and transfer tape. Now that our vinyl's ready to go, we're going to work on our wooden slats. So you'll want to measure the opening on the back side of your frame and then cut your wood slats so that they'll fit inside of that. Once you've got them cut, you can place the slats inside of the frame to see how they'll fit. You can leave a small gap between the slats to help fill up the space. If you need to cut one of the slats lengthwise to help you fill in your space, and you don't have a saw to do that, you can use a craft knife or a utility knife to cut through the slats. Now that you've got everything cut, it's time to paint. And we're going to paint all of these slats white. You'll probably need to do a few coats to get a nice even look. I ended up doing 3 coats on the front and sides, and then I just did 1 light coat on the back just to make everything look nice and clean. Allow those slats plenty of time to dry. Place your slats inside of the frame. Make sure the back sides of the slats are facing up, and then you can use a couple of pieces of tape to hold the slats together. Remove those slats from the frame and place them with the fronts facing up. Now grab your vinyl and remove the backing. I like to flip the design over and pull the backing away from the vinyl. Now place your vinyl over your slats of wood. Center the design and make sure it's straight. You can use a ruler or you can just eye it. Rub over the vinyl to help it stick to those wood pieces. And then you can carefully remove the transfer tape. Next, you'll use a craft knife to slice the vinyl that is over the gaps between the wooden slats. Then you can flip the slats over and pull off the tape. Now add some glue onto the sides of the bottom slat and then place that inside of your frame. Make sure that it's straight, and then repeat this step with all of the other slats until you've got them all glued into the frame. If your frame has those metal tabs, you can press them down over the slats. Flip the frame back over. If you see any glue, you can use your craft knife to slice it off and remove it. And that's all there is to it. This project is finished. If you like this project and you want to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe so you'll get notified each time I post a new video.